This morning I am doing a saltwater flush. I've been eating a lot of things I don't normally eat, and so I want to kind of just like flush all the toxins out of my system. So first thing this morning, I did a saltwater flush. For those of you who don't know what a saltwater flush is, it's a very natural, I'd say semi-gentle way of cleansing your colon and just getting all of the literal shit out. And what I've found in the few fasts that I have done, the fasts where on day 1 or 2 I did a saltwater flush, I kicked into autophagy way faster. I assume that's because my body's not working through any of the like little bitty bits of material that are still in my system. So yeah, this time I want to just like fast forward as much as I can. So I did saltwater flush this morning. To do a saltwater flush, you would take like 1 liter of warm as you can still chug water, with 2 big old teaspoons of a very natural, preferably pink Himalayan, like high mineral content salt, and just mix that up super good, and then chug the whole thing in maximum 5 minutes. I usually am able to get the whole thing down within 2 minutes, and I think that's probably preferable, just so it's all going through at the same time. And then yeah, as your body processes that saltwater mixture, it can't absorb it, so it just pushes everything through your colon. And within, some people it only takes half an hour. For me, it usually takes about 2 hours to work its way all the way through my system. And so within a couple hours, you will expel everything from your system, literally everything. Do not do it on a full stomach. If you've just eaten, don't do that, because you're going to get clogged up and your body's going to absorb more of the salt than it should. You should be going on an empty stomach. First thing in the morning is best, but if you're fasting, I mean, you can do it anytime, because obviously you're on an empty stomach the whole time, but just don't do it on a full stomach. And then stay super hydrated. So it's best if you start the flush already super hydrated. So like this morning, I woke up and I did my normal morning routine, and throughout my morning routine I drank about 1 liter of water that had added potassium in it, because I drink potassium in all of my water. And then after that liter of water I had already drank, I did the saltwater flush of 1 liter of warm water and 2 teaspoons of pink Himalayan salt. And so that I'm just ensuring that my body is already hydrated enough that I'm not going to absorb too much of that salt. And then right after I finished chugging the water, I filled up the same water bottle. It's right here. You can't really see it. But I filled up my same water bottle with another liter of just normal room temperature water, filtered, because I don't like the whatever they put in tap water. But filled that up with normal filtered water, and then I added 2 full servings of potassium, which would be that. So that water bottle is holding somewhere between 12 and 1300 milligrams of potassium. Potassium is going to help your body flush any excess sodium it has. So I like doing that after a saltwater flush. Not everybody does. Most people who practice saltwater flushes, it's just very simple. It's just drink 1 liter of warm salt water and then let it do its business. I get really dry on the day that I do a saltwater flush. My skin gets very dry. I don't know how it's so instantaneous, but it happens very fast. So I like to just really focus on hydration on the day and the day after I do a saltwater flush. And usually that means I'm putting a little extra electrolytes into my water. So obviously the saltwater flush has a butt ton of salt in it, but then the first water bottle I drink after the saltwater flush, which I won't drink for another half an hour or so, that's full of potassium to help my body flush out all the salt and any excess salt that I do actually end up holding on to. And then the rest of the day I'll drink probably a lot of potassium water. Every once in a while I'll drink a bottle with no potassium in it. I'll just kind of feel out what my body needs. And yeah, so that's day 1. I'm starting at 152 pounds even this morning. I've been struggling with my weight a lot since I did a 22-day fast earlier this year, and it was during a really rough part of my menstrual cycle, and I think I caused a little bit of damage to my hormones, and so I've been balancing those out over the last couple of months. And one of the side effects has just been my body is really holding on to a lot of fat. So even though I'm doing my normal fitness routine, I'm eating fairly well. You know, I have occasions where I'll go off the map a little bit, but overall, not a whole lot has changed, and my body is holding on to about 10 pounds more than normal. So if my kind of like happy body zone is usually around 140 pounds, and right now I've been just kind of coasting at 150 for a really long time, and so I want to kick off a few of those pounds. I want to get back down to kind of my resting 140. My ideal weight is closer to 120, 130 even, depending on how much muscle I'm holding. I'm not too concerned about my weight. What I'm mostly concerned about is the shape of my body, and the clothes I can fit into, because I don't want to buy a whole new wardrobe. So we're starting this fast. It is day 1 of my cycle, and for those of you who are women who are fasting, that's something to really keep in mind when you are beginning some sort of fast, is where you're at in your cycle, because your hormones are all over the place and are very finicky. And if you're fasting during a difficult part of or a high hormone part of your cycle, 1, it's going to be more difficult, much more miserable for you, but 2, it's actually detrimental to your health. So this first week of your cycle, like those first 10 days of your cycle, is like the easiest, most perfect time to fast. So that's what I'm practicing now. It is day 1, so I'm just cutting it off. And I'm going to go for 7 days and just allow my body to reset, sit in autophagy for a few days, and just try to rebuild, boost my immune system, all of these things, burn through some of this fat, and see if I can get closer to my happy weight. But yeah, that's all. So this is day 1, starting at 152, and I'll let you know how the fast progresses. See you in day 2.